Hi everyone, as you can see from the title, what this video is about. If you don't want to hear the explanation, you can just fast forward. But the reason why I'm just gonna do like an inception on why I'm doing this tool roll. So pretty much a couple months ago, we did a trip in California, but I noticed that the SUV needed a little bit of maintenance work. Nothing too heavy. Just changing the oil, do a little tune-up. Replace the spark plugs, cabin air filter, and all that fun stuff. And the differential fluid and all that stuff. But I noticed when we going to California that when we reach the actual mileage where it needs to be maintained, I was like, maybe I can do the maintenance over there. So that's the whole inception of this tool roll. So I decided to make a tool roll. So let me show you the tool roll. But yeah, that's pretty much the inception. So let me grab it. So if you guys follow us, you know that this is our family mini SUV. You guys seen the video of those two, plus this mini pouch tool, which is technically a tool kit, EDC stuff, but those are for little fixes. Pardon the mess. But yeah, it's right here. I made a tool roll. It's pretty heavy. But yeah, let me lay it out and do a lot of talking while showing it off. So this is the tool roll. Give you a roughly dimensioned idea. It's almost 13 inches. I think it's 19 inches in the length of it, and then each pouch is like 3 inches. So let me open it up. This has a little bit of mileage too, like the buckle broke, a few Velcro popped out already, so we had to stitch it. There's a little bit of pouch in here, but it's kind of, this thing is loaded, it's hard to put stuff, so I don't really use them. But yeah, let me open it. There you go. But yeah, I think overall length, yeah, like 19 and a half ish, and then like I said, almost 3, maybe more than 3, yeah, like 3.5 ish in terms of pouches of the tool roll. I always have my name in it, at least my surname. But yeah, it has 4 pouches and 2 removable pouches. So first thing on the tool roll is a hammer that has a bolt pin head, because this tools are like designed for car repairs, or at least close enough. I mean, obviously you can use this in case they need a hammer in the house or something, but most of this, like 80% of this stuff, is for like mechanical work on cars. So but yeah, so maybe I'll change the angle because there's a lot of stuff in here. Hold on, let me pull the workbench. I'll change the angle. There you go. There's much bigger surface. But anyway, I'll go through some of the pouches and how out here, on at least how I set it up. Starting with the dead blow hammer. Let's start with the 2 small pouches. So all of this have a label in them. Just it's just a piece of tape that I put a label, and then on the end of the zipper pull, sometimes I put a label, but I guess on this case, oh yeah, it does have a label. It's just too small. But yeah, let's start with this pouch. So over here I have fuses, valve cord, duct tape, air chuck, tool, and some of the electrical stuff. So like I said, this is designed to at least repair and maintain a car. So the fuses, you guys know me, I repurpose Altoids tin cans, so fuses. And this is tie valve core tools and the caps. This is like those valve tools for removing tire valve cores and stuff like that. And sometimes when you fix or remove that, you gotta cap it off so air doesn't get out. So I have that as well. I have an air chuck tool because sometimes when you need air, let's say in a gas station or something, or like in a friend's house, they don't have something to inflate, so I just have extra of this, and these are pretty cheap, you know. So I'm gonna put those here just so. I have a roll of duct tape. You guys know what these are for: patching stuff, tying stuff. Always have a duct tape. I also have an electrical tape that's supposed to be flat, but I guess it's too hot in the car and stuff. But anyway, it's just in an Amazon gift card. Probably change this, but it still works. Electrical tape, and then last is a lighter. So the lighter is mainly if you gotta do like a heat shrink. I don't think I have that. That's a good thing to add, I guess. But always have a lighter with you. So that's the first pouch. Second pouch. So I got a blade, box cutter, anti-seize, Loctite batteries, and super glue. I mean, it's written in there, so I'll just show it to you. So, oh, I also have a tire thread gauge, I guess. So we live in Utah, where I just buy snow tires for all my cars because it's kind of pointless to change them every now and then, and plus a lot of people sells them here. So in case you have to buy a tire and curious on if it's still good, the thread count, or at least the threads, use this one. It's a pretty good, pretty cheap tool to have. So just keep that in here. Some extra batteries. This is for the headlamp and flashlight, so just put on a Ziploc. This is a spark plug gap tool. When you guys do maintenance on your car on your own risk, sometimes they give you the spark plug and it's not gap, so you usually so the spark plug have like that, the top, I don't know what it's called, the one that creates the spark pretty much. That's like the one that makes contact. Put it in there, and then you do the proper gap. Most of the time the spark plug comes in already pre-gapped, I guess that's the term, but this you can use this to double check, and these are pretty cheap. Just put it in like a carabiner so you don't get lost. A box cutter, so in case you're plugging a tire or something, you have to cut the plugs off, or opening boxes, dealing with like plastic shields, the water shields under the car. If you have to make like a sudden incision or something like that, box cutter could be handy for that. And then always have a super glue for quick fixes. I have a Loctite. I put it on Ziploc, so in case it leaks, it doesn't go everywhere. I like the red one, but this is just an extra on my parts container right over there. So it's good to have like a medium strength thread blocker if you're doing minor repairs, and then just a anti-seize and a brake lubricant, because with this toolkit you can pretty much do quick brake jobs on your car. But yeah, it's just good to have. I just have it on this container. That's pretty much it in the second patch. Yeah, most of this stuff, so when you're a dad, you usually get like tools for like Christmas, especially if you're like a handy dad. Sometimes you get like a set of screwdriver with like 14 pieces of it, and most of the time they're the same sizes, so it's nice to disperse some of them in like a toolkit that you can carry with you, instead of like you have a bunch of tools in there. You can carry some with you, so if you have to do work real quick on the side of the road, or like in a friend's house, or helping somebody that's have car problems. Obviously you gotta know a little bit on cars before doing this or building this, but this kit it could be a different kit too. It could be like a house repair kit or something like that. This is just what I have as a mechanical items for the car, like I said. Okay, so first pouch, always have to have when you fixing cars, is a multimeter. I've had this multimeter for a long time. It's just a small one for checking continuity, making sure everything is grounded, or making sure your battery have enough volts to jumpstart the car or stuff like that. Multimeter, a lot of use. Try to get the branded one, because they like this one is a GE one. and a pocket size is good. I like the analog one, like the thing, instead of like the digital one. I mean, you can use the digital one. I just like the analog one because growing up or learning how to use this, I learned it how to use with the analog one. So that's what I stick into, you know, like I can see the differences when I'm changing, when I'm testing something. I can see the needle moving compared to like the electronic one where sometimes it just flickers and I'm not sure if that's the reading or not. So electrical multimeter. This one is a OBD scanner. This doesn't fix stuff, but it kind of helps diagnose. Sometimes you just get an engine light because of like the P codes where it's like an even mix of air and fuel or something like that. This can clear it up. Or if you have like a tire sensor problem, most of this clears it up. This is just erase codes. It doesn't fix it, it just helps you diagnose. This is pretty cheap, but I recommend getting one on your toolkit. And then I just have a bunch of gloves, so you know what it's used for making sure that nothing gets dirty. Battery terminal cleaner. Like I said, this stuff are pretty cheap. So in case, let's say you have to change the battery in a parking lot, or when you buy a new battery, at least you can clean it up before putting it back. So yeah. Headlamp. This is pretty basic. So when you're working on cars, when you go under, even on like blazing sunlight, you can't see stuff. So make sure you always have a source of light. You saw the batteries already. And then just some measuring tape. And this doesn't have, this is for like if you have to buy a tubing, or you got to make sure the distance of one area or one part to another. And you know, you can use this for house stuff too. You know, measuring tape, can't beat that. A regular blade. This is more of like an EDC item, you know, blade for cutting stuff, poking stuff. So make sure you always have a blade as well. Zip ties. You guys, you know, everybody works on cars. Make sure you get like a bunch of. I think these are 8 inches, and these are like 4 inches, I believe. Yeah. And these are, you know, pretty basic stuff when you're repairing cars. Zip ties. Could be the cheap one too, you know, just minor repairs. This will help a lot. This is just a carpenter pencil that I have extra, you know, in case you need a pencil. And then a mirror, inspection mirror, for looking in corners or stuff that you can't see, or you know, things like that. This goes hand to hand with a pen light. I have 2 kinds of light. One is a headlamp and like an actual pen light, because this is for broad light, for seeing in a broader area. But this one is for like pinpointing stuff. So you know, make sure you always carry one of this. If you have an EDC of light too, then that'll work. But I just keep some in here. So that goes hand in hand with that one, especially when you drop something in the engine bay or something. You gotta have a magnetic pickup tool. Maybe that's not magnetic. Yeah, that one. This is used for a lot of things, not just picking up stuff. So you know, when you change an spark plug, sometimes if you have like those cheap spark plug sockets, then you gotta get this to actually remove the spark plug. So that's what it's for. Always get just a regular brush. It could be a toothbrush. I just have a plenty of this. You can buy this in Harbor Freight, you know, for cleaning threads. You know, brush. It's a brush. I got an extra of the pencil, Sharpie, and pen. So in case you have to, let's say you have to get a part number from some place, or you don't know what it is, or you have to mark like a timing chain, like the sprockets and stuff. So you can, you know, mark things down. So Sharpie, get like I think they're called this baling wire. We call this alambre in the Philippines. It's just a piece of wire. So if zip ties doesn't work, you can always get a metal type to hold things. So, and then lastly, hose clamps. Just a variety. Most of the hose clamps, you're probably gonna use it for like hoses, for like the PCV valve if it's loose, or if you go to somebody else's house and let's say their hose is leaking, you know, you can probably use this to fix their like water hose or something like that. And, you know, clamps are pretty handy. Okay, so that's that on the first pouch. Now there's a lot of stuff on this thing, and this is just on the SUV. I have a truck version of this that I'll probably post a video. Okay, second pouch, just a cheap gloves on your size, obviously, keeping your hands dirt free or cold free or whatever. Get one of the pry bar, most likely the longer one because you need all the lever you can get, but a small one will work if you need to remove a part that needs a little bit more persuasion on prying. A multi-type saw, so you know when you're fixing something. I've encountered one where I had to help somebody remove their like muffler. They're doing a delete on their cat. I don't know why, but it was like hanging by like I forgot what it's called. But we had to cut something, and this came work in a pinch. And then you know, and I like this one because you can put multiple like sawzall blade. You can do for wood or metal or stuff like that. This is just an extra of mine, that's why I put it here. And then I'm trying to get the, this is the extra blade for that. I just put a duct tape in it so it doesn't saw through the thing. Two kinds of screwdrivers, preferably the magnetic one. Look, it's bent already, so because most of this stuff are cheap. I'll probably change this. I have like 100 in here. Maybe not 100, maybe 20. But yeah, you know what screwdriver. Oh, I remember why this is bent. I use this for prying something. But yeah, you always get like the Phillips and the flathead, and you can also get one of these where it's like multiple bits for like Torx and the star bits and security bits. And this is ratcheting. This is ratcheting too, so very efficient. Get some set of basic Allen keys. This is common on the some of the bolts on the Outlanders, so metric and SAE and like the fractional, I guess that's what it's called. Alright, this is pretty cheap. You can buy this in Walmart or something. Set of picks. I got some picks from Harbor Freight. You know, for removing seals or if you got to get something in a real tight space. So set of picks. This is a body kit removal tool, like the interior one. This is like a pry tool, but it's plastic. It's good for removing body panels inside instead of this one, so you don't have to damage the interior plastic. Because you know most of the cars now are cheap, made with like plastic in the interior. So I guess most of them are. Anyway, that one. It's a 4-in-1 saw, file. You know, for removing burrs or. It's good to have this 4-in-1. You can get like the big ones, like an actual file, but this will work on the job. If, let's say something is protruding, it's a little sharp, you can file it down. Look, another screwdriver. Well, maybe that's why I have another screwdriver in there, because this one is big. Screwdrivers are good for prying too. These are the bits, more bits for the bit driver in there. Like I said, you know, as a dad, you usually get tools. Get one of those like set of tools in a set that has at least majority of what you might need. You know, the 30, like the 25 Torx is coming, the 30, I probably have one here. You know, the square ones and the flathead and all that stuff. And then also get like a precision tool, because sometimes you probably need it. Most of the times you don't. This is for like fine electronic works, but I have extra, so I just throw one in there. And then at least two kinds of punches. One's like a broad one, small one, in case you have to punch something using the hammer. And then this is just an extra blade, hacksaw blade, so in case that doesn't work, this is a little bit longer. So you can actually utilize this one. Yeah, but that's a second pouch. That's where I keep on the second pouch, you know. It looks a lot and it fits in a tiny space, but because it is a lot in a tiny space. On the third one is where I keep the pliers. So this is just a bunch of assorted pliers. So a wire stripper, just a basic one. You know, when you work on cars, you work on electronics too. So stripping wires is common. It's a variety of pliers. So this is like a channel lock version. And then I have a long nose pliers and a diagonal cutter for cutting, you know, zip ties or wires. It's good to have. And then snap rings. You can buy this in like Harbor Freight. They're pretty cheap, so forgot how to use this now. Oh, there you go. And then the extra ones are right here for different like heads when you try to. Come on. There you go. Snap ring pliers, and then more of the heads, and then the basic oil filter wrench. You can get one that's like a socket size, but this works for at least most of the stuff that I work on the cars in the house. So I prefer this one because most of the time when you're removing oil filters, you can destroy the oil filter, and this is much easier to grab on. So, and then, oh, that's why it's not working, because it's missing the spring. Okay, I'll fix that later. And then just a set of vice grips. For, you know, you need one of those dinosaur looking one and one that has like an alligator one. This comes in handy when working on like the drum brakes, you know, when you have to get that spring that's annoying. So in there. Yeah, this is a spring for the thing. I'll fix that later. And then the basic adjustable wrench. That's pretty much on the third category or third pocket. And then let's go to the last pocket. So when you're working on cars, you gotta have some socket sets. So make sure you get on the metric side, get one as low as like 9, maybe lower than that. In this case, I have one that's 8. But this is from a bunch of kits. Like I said, you get a lot of presents or like giveaway of sockets, take it. And then this is like from different brands. This one, I think this is from like the blue one is from like Harbor Freight. These are Pittsburgh one. This is from like Walmart, and then the last one I have is like Craftsman, but it's 18. I'm missing I'm supposed to have a 19 in here. I guess I'm using it somewhere else. And then this is like the SAE one. You know, when you're working on cars, you need socket sets. You can put specific ones. I just, like I said, I have a lot, so I just prefer putting it in there. And then a set of spark plug sockets. So you can buy like the socket rail in Harbor Freight, and then I just cut it. And then with that, you gotta have like you can pick from a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 of an inch for the sizes. I picked the 3/8 because I have a bunch of this like Walmart brand ratchet. And then when you have a ratchet, make sure you have like a, what is called, wobble, or like, you know, because, you know, when you're working on cars, it's a little tight, so you gotta have a way to move and bypass some areas. But yeah, and then you gotta have, I think between a this is a 6 and this is like a 3, this can get you through on whatever you need, at least what I need, because I can always add it in case I need to make it longer. So you gotta have some extensions, and then get one where it goes smaller to like a 1/4 inch, or you can go bigger depending on what you need. In this case, I just have one that's, because this is the only extra I have. That's, yeah, ratchets and stuff. And then the set of wrenches. This is the 3/8 to 1/2 adapter. So most of this wrenches, you know, you can buy this in Harbor Freight pretty cheap. You know, it's the Pittsburgh brand. Some of the Walmart one is pretty good. I have the same value over on my socket, which is the same size as my ratchets. Oh, sorry, this is the 9mm. See, it's from a different brand too. It's Frankensteining. There you go. So if I have, for example, on the metric side, I had an 8 until the 19th. I make sure that my wrenches is from the 8th to 19th. I'm not gonna put it all out, but you know what it is. And then on the SAE side, I mean, some of this is breaking down. Maybe I'll get a bigger, yeah, from a 1/4 inch until 5/16, because that's the only thing I can fit. You can go to like the whole one, but yeah. So wrenches, this is like the most heavy part of this toolkit. But then again, it depends on what you're working on. So, but for the most part, this is what I put on this tool roll. It's good for working on cars, some maybe minor or home repairs with a hammer and screwdriver, and you know, this will get you out of the bind. And if you have a lot as a gift, or if you're building one, you can use this as a reference. I'm not a professional. I just do this at home because I would like to save money, because most of, you know, my knowledge base is what I have, so that's what I'm using. And obviously if I have a question, I usually ask somebody that actually knows what they're doing. But this is pretty much what you need, at least to get you unstuck if you get stuck, or on my case, when we had to go to a road trip and we have to be there in 2 weeks, and one of the maintenance is due on my car, then I can at least work on this. But then again, if you're looking for a bigger size wrench, if you're changing like for example on the Outlander, I need a 24mm wrench. I have that on my toolbox. That's for like the differential drain plug and stuff like that. If that happens, then obviously I'll just bring that. But yeah, if you need to add more, you can add more. If you have to take some that's unnecessary, you can take some that's unnecessary. But let me know in the comments. I like answering comments, whether it's negative or positive, because it kind of like builds up a community of people, you know, dealing with this stuff. But yeah, here's the labels. I don't know if you can see it. It's too small. But yeah, so hopefully you learned something, or at least, you know, had an idea if, in case you're building one. You can, there's always fancier tool in there. The world is like huge for those stuff. But this is just the stuff that I can afford personally, because I have, you know, like, you can see that most of this stuff is from like different kits, different sizes. Like I remember buying this in like a grocery store instead of the actual hardware store. So you can always build the bigger one, but this is just my knowledge base. This will get I can survive with these tools. But that's pretty much it. So peace.